This is not just radio. Welcome to your elevation corner. Let your soul be catered for. This is Urban Edge, not just radio.
The Duke, your mama's boyfriend, only on Urban Edge, not just radio. You are listening to The Duke on radio. Urban Edge, not just radio. Get in touch with us at Urban Edge _radio on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
Sanbonani, hello everybody. It's your girl La Sauce, and you're tuned in to Urban Edge. It's not just radio with the Duke.
Urban Edge, not just radio.
We get to the end of the meeting. I said to him, Dada, I have one last question. This is the question I will leave with you. I asked him, what is it that is your dream for our generation and for mankind? He said, your people need a little bit of faith. I asked him, I said, well, what is faith? He said, young man, faith is the ability to believe in the impossible, to see the invisible, and to trust in the unknown.
Good afternoon, this is The Duke on radio, and welcome to Unfiltered with The Duke. It's quite an interesting day, now that our president has touched down in Washington, D.C. We're going to be looking at some of that, and also zooming into Omotoso having left the country, should we say, or safely say that he has touched down in Nigeria? We're about to find out. Also, we look at the EFF having marched to Treasury yesterday, and we get to hear what the CIC, Julius Malema, had to say about that. Also look at Hammanskraal, the Water and Sanitation Minister Pemmy Majodina having visited the area. Jayden-Lee Meek, what a sad story. We also zoom in to that. This is Unfiltered with the Duke.
The Duke, your mama's boyfriend, only on Urban Edge, not just radio.
Good morning. No, it's afternoon. The time is 4 minutes past 12 this afternoon. Welcome to Unfiltered with the Duke. It's quite an interesting day. It is. This is Unfiltered episode 2, coming through to you live from Hotel Sky every Tuesday between 12 and 3. So what's up this hour? We look at the news, and in the second hour we get to speak to a senior product developer that is in our business corner segment, and later on we have a boost of motivation with Lebogang Machabula Mokwena on Focus Talk, and in the third hour I bring you some of that interesting music. Who did it best? I cannot wait for that. But for now, let us get on with it. Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa arrived in Washington, D.C. last night, aiming to reset diplomatic ties with the U.S. amid strained relations under President Donald Trump. And before he left, this is what he had to say.
President Trump and I also agreed to meet soon to address the various other matters regarding our relations between South Africa and the United States. We both spoke about the need to foster good relations between our two countries.
He is expected to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House in Washington, D.C. This visit will enable Pretoria and Washington, D.C. to reset the strategic relationship between the two countries. There are several issues on the agenda, including trade, investment, geopolitical issues, and the genocide claims that have been made by Trump, despite South African authorities' insistence that there is no political persecution in the country. And when asked about the visit, this is what Ramaphosa had to say.
No, I'm not worried about anything. We're going there to discuss trade and our bilateral relations, and that's what we are going to discuss. It's country to country, and we trade with each other, so we have to relate to each other, and that's just what it is. And so just as he meets other people, and I also meet other people, it's state to state, we are representing our peoples.
It's interesting that he says just as he meets other people, we're also going to be meeting him. Well, some advisors fear that he risks a Volodymyr Zelensky style dressing down in the Oval Office. What are your thoughts? On 0623907407, that is my WhatsApp line. Please do send your text and voice notes on 0623907407. But I'd be doing an injustice if I didn't take you back to what our former president Thabo Mbeki had to say a month ago, expressing shock by how things have changed in a second.
The behavior of President Trump towards South Africa now is, I really can't explain it. I find it very, very difficult to understand it, because we've worked with the Republican Party in the US, members of the party, for over many decades. Over many decades. I'm talking about during the struggle for the liberation of South Africa and the anti-apartheid movement. We worked with leaders of the Republican Party. They're very much on the side of the struggle to end the apartheid system. I remember even when the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act was passed during the 1980s.
Well, that's what our former president had to say. That's about a month ago. It is very interesting. This visit will be very interesting. I know he touched down last night, and he is spending a day there today, and they're only meeting with the presidency of the USA tomorrow. And it will be interesting to see what they get to discuss, and if this relationship can be reset, and that Trump can actually respect SA. It's going to be an interesting one now, because last week 49 Afrikaners went to that side. There's a whole lot of argument if these are farmers or just car guards.
And there are no 49 Afrikaners who left South Africa. You all know that. It's a fiction, it's drama. You know, America with drama is number one. That thing is Muvango. I don't know what is Muvango in Africa. It's just a drama. If those people are farmers, it means there are 49 farms available. Why are we not expropriating them? Because they've abandoned them. But why is the media not telling us? Because they say these are farmers. Why is the media, through its own investigation, say to us, this picture you see is a farmer at this. They are not farmers. There is no one who left farming here in South Africa. I suspect that those whites were these ones who were looking after cars at the parking lot. They were attending to cars and they went to fetch them there. They can't live. They will never live the kind of life they live here in South Africa, anywhere else. No Afrikaner will leave South Africa for America. It's not true. We're demanding our land. We're saying, let's share this land. Let's all work the land. Because we can't, when we're asking for food, and say, no, you're committing crime by asking. We're having a robust debate on land in South Africa. And that must never be used to silence us by America.
I'd like to know your thoughts with regards to this whole thing, as to what's happening, the visit to America by our president, and what's happening with regards to the 49 Afrikaners that had left, which they describe as the first batch of Afrikaners that had left South Africa and went to America because of the genocide that is happening in South Africa. I know we discussed this last week, but hey, it's still a developing story. So that's the story that we're following, and many other stories that we are following. There was one clip I came across which was very interesting from an Afrikaner.
Hey folks, welcome back once again. OR Tambo, this is Chris. If you're receiving an email that's coming from the U.S. Embassy and it's a ZA U.S. Embassy, it's legitimate. It's legitimate. If you previously sent an email to the U.S. Embassy to express interest in the refugee resettlement program, that's all you did. You've never applied for the program. I've told people this over and over and over again. There was no application, there was no program. However, a short while ago, the U.S. Embassy in South Africa published on their website, and I'm sure their server's going to crash very soon, but everyone go in there, they published the program. You must sign a statement of interest or fill out a form and send it. Now you can apply. The floodgates can potentially open right now. If you're interested in the U.S. refugee resettlement program that President Trump has generously offered, and here's another piece of information which I expected, but we couldn't prove, and it turns out to be the case. It's not just Afrikaners. Ethnic minorities also qualify for refugee resettlement in the United States under President Trump's programs. So, if you want to apply for the program, you can now do it. If you sent an email previously, it wasn't an application, it was simply a statement of interest, as I've said over and over again. So, again, tragic that anybody would want to leave this amazing country. Sad to see, heartbreaking. But I can't put myself in your shoes. If that's the path you need to take, that's the path you need to take. It's not my job to dissuade you. It's not my job to convince you. Just stay off my lawn, and there are no FEMA tents. From OR Tambo, this is Chris. God bless.
What are your thoughts? 062-3907-407. So Ramaphosa has landed in the US ahead of risky Trump meeting. Minister John Steenhuisen, Ronald Lamola, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, and Pakstau are with Ramaphosa to present a united SA front. South Africa's Ramaphosa's visit. Can they fix tricky relations? The two countries have clashed over alleged persecution of white South Africans and Israel's war on Gaza. Ramaphosa's Oval Office meeting with Trump is a diplomatic coup. Now he must secure a deal. Cyril Ramaphosa has managed to pry open the White House door with the help of wealthy allies, all while navigating the minefield of Trump's vitriol and masked regulatory tantrums, proving that sometimes it takes a rich friend to unlock the gates of international diplomacy. Well, on Steenhuisen walks a political tightrope ahead of Trump's meeting. Steenhuisen must balance DA principles with GNU unity as he prepares for a delicate engagement with Trump alongside Ramaphosa. What are your thoughts? I'm interested to know, Ebonite. What are your thoughts on 062-390-7407? What are your thoughts on the president's visit to the USA? And what's interesting for me is the people that he took with him. Well, Ronald Lamola is expected, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni is expected, Pakstau expected, but John Steenhuisen, very interesting. Is it to show a united front? I'd love to know your thoughts. 062-390-7407. Let's pay the bills.
The time to give is upon us.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
It is a revolutionary idea to believe that we are members of one family. Africa Business Excellence is committed to developing the next generation of legends by enhancing leadership and governance standards in South Africa. Africa BX, inform, educate, empower. For more information, visit www.africabx.co.za.
Looking for a top quality steel and electrical supplier at unbeatable prices? Devland Steel has you covered. Whether you need industrial, commercial, or residential steel and electrical supplies, Devland Steel stocks up a variety of steel and electrical products to power up your projects. Located at number 66 East Street, Devland, Johannesburg. Call Devland Steel on 011 933 2754 or 064 532 2969. Devland Steel, your reliable, affordable, and trusted supplier. Want to make your brand impossible to ignore? Babasati's got your back. This award-winning contractor delivers top-notch branding activations, in-store displays, and premium branding event solutions. From eye-catching pull-up banners, gazebos to lanyards, and telescopic banners, Babasati helps you stand out. Plus, they handle warehousing, distribution, and expert logistics consulting, so you don't have to. Why blend in when you can steal the show? Visit Babasati at corner 2nd Avenue and 13th Street, Q, Johannesburg. Call 011 466 8171 or 081 835 9254. Email info@babasati.co.za or visit www.babasati.co.za. Babasati, excellence in every project. Urban Edge Radio, not just radio.
Life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. Experience the elegance of Italian craftsmanship. Go Italian. Go Vespa. Book a test ride today at 5 IKEA Road, Fleurhof, or contact Derek at 011 440 7649.
Ikamala bingingubani Ikamala Omotoso. Well, on Tuesday, the East London Magistrates Court, that was last week, ruled that Nigerian pastor Timothy Omotoso could not be detained for more than 48 hours without being charged. As per Section 34 of the Immigration Act, Omotoso was arrested on immigration-related charges over the weekend. It's alleged that he contravened the provisions of the Immigration Act. The National Prosecuting Authority, which is the NPA, said South Africa's legal system does not require controversial Nigerian pastor Timothy Omotoso to appear during the hearing of an appeal by a court of law. The NPA has confirmed it will proceed with its appeal of the judgment that acquitted Omotoso despite his departure from the country. Dressed in a grey hoodie and dark glasses, Omotoso walked with confidence towards his flight at OR Tambo International Airport on Sunday.
Thank you, sir. Pastor Omotoso, is this goodbye? Permanently. Guys, from here. Hello. Hello.
Because this side is not allowed.
Yep, that's it. That was him saying nothing, leaving SA in peace. The Nigerian pastor stopped to speak to immigration officials but said nothing to the media as he hurried through departures. He refused to answer any questions, including whether he planned to return to South Africa at some point. Nigerian televangelist Timothy Omotoso boarded a flight to Nigeria from OR Tambo International Airport. Omotoso was recently acquitted of rape and human trafficking charges. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. It's quite an interesting one. Hey, that he was released of jail twice now. Twice. And the magistrate says he could not be detained for more than 48 hours without being charged. Is the state being unfair towards Omotoso? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. 062-390-7407. That is 062-390-7407. Moving right along, the economic freedom fighters filled the streets of Pretoria in protest against a proposed increase in value-added tax. The march was intended to send a clear message to the National Treasury ahead of Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's forthcoming budget speech.
We are here to make this message very clear. You want money, go and take more money from Rupert, take more money from Oppenheimer's, take more money from Patrice Motsepe. All those who are rich, they must pay more because the poor cannot afford. You must not be intimidated by this thing that they are saying we are killing white people. There is no white person who's being killed in South Africa. If you go and look at the stats, is white people killing each other for policy inheritance. They kill each other and blame that on us. We must refuse and we must reject that propaganda, which is a lie. Even those 49 Afrikaners who were marching, going to USA, you must know that thing is not real. It's a fiction. Those people were acting. They are actors. They are very good actors.
We have been at the center of fighting the VAT increase proposal that was initially adopted by the National Assembly of at least a 1% increase above the 15% that we are subjected to as consumers in South Africa. We obviously voted against the budget in the National Assembly. We felt that the processes and the procedures that led to the formulation of the budget and the item being tabled in front of the National Assembly had been flawed and unlawful. And we successfully obviously won because we not only voted against it, but we also through litigation processes upheld our views there. And the prayers of the courts, in actual fact, in the papers that were brought by another political organization, found favor in terms of the views of the economic freedom fighters at the time, and which has now obviously successfully led to a process or a rerun of the process of the budget process in itself.
Noma Vistubula. Well, I'm not sure about that. Don't want to be shot. Well, the leader of the EFF, that is the CIC, Julius Malema, says his party is the only party that can liberate South Africans, praising it for doing more than their 9% of the electoral votes at the national level. Malema addressed party supporters outside the office of the National Treasury in Pretoria on Monday. That was yesterday. The Red Berets embarked on what they describe as a VAT victory. So that's a VAT victory march, celebrating what the party deems a major triumph for the people of South Africa. Malema urged his people to continue pushing to ensure that the EFF becomes the only hope for the people. Let's build lower structures that work. Build the EFF. It will look after you. Look at the EFF taking care of you with just 9%. Imagine if you put 0 next to that 9%. What will happen to this country? What will happen to this continent? We are the only ones who can liberate black people, he said. Malema used his speech to blame the Treasury, but more importantly to deliver a memorandum of demands to the institutions to ensure an end to this unjust regime. This also includes implementing a budget that is for the people, that puts human dignity, racial justice, and structural transformation at the center of economic planning. We want Treasury to withdraw from the IMF and generate money, not to service debt, but to serve ordinary people on the ground, he added. Meanwhile, Malema urged Finance Minister Enoch Godongwane to table a budget fit for the people and not capitalists. If the budget doesn't serve the people, they must know there will be a fight in Parliament. We are not here to nest egos, he said. Godongwane will deliver a speech on Wednesday, that is tomorrow. Also, Malema and his delegation visited King Dalindyebo, and we had a chance to speak to Commissar Sinawo Tambo, the EFF national spokesperson, and this is what he had to say.
Thank you very much, and we're happy to be here. So the visit forms part and parcel of the continued support, respect, and honoring of traditional leaders who are custodians of the history of South Africa, but not only our history in terms of what has happened in the past, but also our liberation history and struggle against colonial oppression, land dispossession, and our identity as an African people. So this visit to King Dalindyebo Kasabata forms part and parcel of the EFF's continued outreach to those leaders. As we know, the EFF has always had good relations with the King, and we are here to come and announce to him that first and foremost we will be having our 12th anniversary celebrations here at Umtata Stadium. So we are coming here to seek his blessings, his support, and the attendance of the royal household in its entirety. Absolutely. As the EFF, we believe that government, working hand in hand with traditional leadership, particularly in the Eastern Cape, can change the lives of our people, because the constituency of the EFF is mostly in the rural areas where kings and traditional leaders and chiefs have control over those constituencies, but not only control, are entrusted by the people to continue to execute their mandate of presiding over them and ensuring that they get service delivery and they get their constitutional objectives met as well. We have seen King Dalindyebo be actively involved in the struggles of the people here in Umtata, especially the students. I mean, recently the protest at Walter Sisulu University, which have seen a student being killed, even the King has been vocal condemning the militarization of campuses. So that role of intervening on social challenges is one that is critical and important, and why leaders like King Dalindyebo must be honored continuously. Look, the EFF registered significant growth in the Eastern Cape in the elections of 2024. And we feel like it is important to thank the people of the Eastern Cape for their trust and faith that they're putting in the EFF, which continues to intervene in the many challenges the people of the Eastern Cape are facing. So the EFF has recognized that the Eastern Cape is a battleground where we are continuing to gain much more expression, and going towards the local government elections in 2026. We want to show the people of the Eastern Cape that the movement is available to them. It is a movement that belongs to them. And the Eastern Cape can no longer continue to be characterized as a cutting-edge province where we're constantly being shown children crossing rivers, going to school, elderly people being raped, and our people not getting service delivery, using pit toilets, and all things of that nature. So as part of taking the organization back to the people, we're also bringing it directly to the people of the Eastern Cape, and the 12th anniversary is the first step towards that.
Very interesting. They're going to be celebrating their, did they say 12th? Yes, anniversary in Umtata. So they went to the King to report, and that's what we do in an African culture, where before you invade a space, I know even pastors do that, before they go and put a tent of a revival, they go and speak to other pastors in that area to say, I'll be coming through, if you may allow me. And I think that's what the EFF is alluding to, that they went to the King to get his blessings to actually come through and host their 12th anniversary party. We remember that their 10th year celebration was at Moses Mabhida. It was a very big one, and it was a very successful one. You know, when Julius went up with, I don't know what to call that thing. Yeah, crane. Well, moving right along. When you hear the name Hammanskraal, what comes to mind? I know what comes to my mind is water. And I'm right. Water and Sanitation Minister Pemmy Majodina, along with Deputy Minister David Mahlobo and the Tshwane Executive Mayor Dr. Nasiphi Moya, that is from the Action SA, conducted oversight visits to the Rooiwal wastewater treatment works and the Klipdrift water treatment plant in Hammanskraal. The visit aimed to assess progress and refurbishing and upgrading the two facilities, which are expected to enhance the area's potable water supply by an additional 50 megaliters per day.
We are here today with the mayor to oversight what we know is work in progress. We are doing two oversight sites here in Rooiwal as well as in the Klipdrift. I must say I'm very much happy on the progress that has been made up to this far here. You know that this is one of the big wastewater treatment plant where affluent is discharged here from Tshwane. On the capacity of 120, they receive about 160 to 164 at times, but the work that has been done, deep excavation that is happening now here, they are on course. We are very much happy. The resources that have been put by municipality in ensuring that we complete this project, whilst the project has been delayed, but we are confident that they are going to complete the project.
It's a pleasure, Minister, to announce today that actually in addition to completing phase 1A, we have been able to start phase 1B 6 months ahead of schedule. And while we are slightly delayed because of the reasons that you have outlined, that we're supposed to be at 10% on 1B, we are at 6% because of the inclement weather. So the project is going fairly well. Now, the other thing that is quite important, that while we talk about the provision of clean water, there are also environmental issues that we are dealing with here. So we are able now to start measuring the quality of effluent that's being discharged from the plant. And I think that's quite important for us, because it's not only the Hammanskraal water, Hammanskraal community that's affected with issues of access to water. We've got farmers here in Rooiwal that depended on this plant to provide clean water. We are continuing to implement the court order that they have in terms of making sure that they receive clean water through water tankers. But what is important is that they must also know that the quality of effluent that's being discharged from the plant is starting to improve. So those are key milestones that we have, Minister, and we continue to to progress and monitor the project and how we're implementing it. What is next now? We do have budget that is committed for this project. We have spent 350 million out of the 450 million that's allocated by council, and the envisaged deadline for this project to be completed is June 2026.
Looking for a top quality steel and electrical supplier at unbeatable prices? Devland Steel has you covered. Whether you need industrial, commercial, or residential steel and electrical supplies, Devland Steel stocks up a variety of steel and electrical products to power up your projects. Located at number 66 East Street, Devland, Johannesburg. Call Devland Steel on 011 933 2754 or 064 532 2969. Devland Steel, your reliable, affordable, and trusted supplier.
The time to build is upon us.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
It is a revolutionary idea to believe that we are members of one family.
Africa Business Excellence is committed to developing the next generation of legends by enhancing leadership and governance standards in South Africa. Africa BX, inform, educate, empower. For more information, visit www.africabx.co.za.
Want to make your brand impossible to ignore? Babasati's got your back. This award-winning contractor delivers top-notch branding activations, in-store displays, and premium branding event solutions. From eye-catching pull-up banners, gazebos to lanyards, and telescopic banners, Babasati helps you stand out. Plus, they handle warehousing, distribution, and expert logistics consulting, so you don't have to. Why blend in when you can steal the show? Visit Babasati at corner 2nd Avenue and 13th Street, Q, Johannesburg. Call 011 466 8171 or 081 835 9254. Email info@babasati.co.za or visit www.babasati.co.za. Babasati, excellence in every project. Urban Edge Radio, not just radio.
Life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. Experience the elegance of Italian craftsmanship. Go Italian, go Vespa. Book a test ride today at 5 IKEA Road, Fleurhof, or contact Derek at 011-440-7649.
I'd love to see myself in a Vespa, eh? I need to work hard for me to afford it, unless you guys give me donations. If you out there, do you feel that this man of God deserves a Vespa scooter, please send a text on 062-3907-407. Unigele nje. Unigele sihle sandla siphayo kunesamgelayo. More stories that we are following is that Solidarity threatens Tshwane with defamation over inflammatory rhetoric. Trade union Solidarity has issued a letter to demand to minister in the presidency, Kumbuzo Tshwane, accusing her of defamation, intimidation, and unconstitutional conduct in a series of public statements that it says were false, harmful, and insulting. They intended to damage its public standing. When is she not in trouble? But I love her. She's very outspoken and talks a lot of sense. Well, we can argue on that one. South Africa to pursue appeal against Nigerian pastor acquitted of rape. South African authorities say they will continue with the legal proceedings against Nigerian televangelist Timothy Omotoso, who was acquitted of rape last month, even though he has left the country. I am interested to see how this is going to pan out. We warned you. Joburg ignored years of alerts before 4 Mayfair toddlers died in fire. 4 toddlers were burnt beyond recognition in a blaze at an overcrowded Mayfair house, one of 50 flagged slum properties ignored by Johannesburg officials for years. A ward committee member repeatedly warned the city, even submitting another dossier after the deadly Usindiso fire in 2023. No action was taken, and now a community mourns an unavoidable loss. Operation Chanela, police arrest more than 16,000 in just 1 week. The South African Police Services have arrested more than 16,000 for various crimes, including murder, rape, and bullying in just 1 week. These suspects were arrested during the police high-density operation known as Operation Chanela from Monday to Sunday last week. Fatal Mayfair fire, tenant blames childminder for often leaving children unattended. The children died from smoke inhalation on Monday when a room used as a crèche in the building caught fire. Daughter in the legal battle to remove girlfriend from father's death benefits. A woman who was unhappy that his father's long-term girlfriend was added as a beneficiary in his death benefits sought relief in the Financial Services Tribunal to have her removed. DT Mngomezulu passed away in October 2022, leaving behind 3 daughters whose legal claim to share of his retirement fund is undisputed. Proposed cleaning levy sparks legal challenge in Tshwane. AfriForum has started legal action against the city of Tshwane to obtain clarification on the implementation of the proposed environmental or city cleaning levy announced in the budget speech. With the stories that we're following, I am interested to know what are your thoughts on 062-390-7407. This is Unfiltered and the time is 20 minutes to 1 o'clock. And at 5 minutes past 1, we will be talking to Nsako, who is a senior product developer. I cannot wait to have a chat with her. For now, let us pay the bills.
Looking for a top quality steel and electrical supplier at unbeatable prices? Devland Steel has you covered. Whether you need industrial, commercial, or residential steel and electrical supplies, Devland Steel stocks up a variety of steel and electrical products to power up your projects. Located at number 66 East Street, Devland, Johannesburg. Call Devland Steel on 011 933 2754 or 064 532 2969. Devland Steel, your reliable, affordable, and trusted supplier.
The time to build is upon us.
Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream.
It is a revolutionary idea to believe that we are members of one family.
Africa Business Excellence is committed to developing the next generation of legends by enhancing leadership and governance standards in South Africa. Africa BX, inform, educate, empower. For more information, visit www.africabx.co.za.
Want to make your brand impossible to ignore? Babasati's got your back. This award-winning contractor delivers top-notch branding activations, in-store displays, and premium branding event solutions. From eye-catching pull-up banners, gazebos to lanyards, and telescopic banners, Babasati helps you stand out. Plus, they handle warehousing, distribution, and expert logistics consulting, so you don't have to. Why blend in when you can steal the show? Visit Babasati at corner 2nd Avenue and 13th Street, Q, Johannesburg. Call 011 466 8171 or 081 835 9254. Email info@babasati.co.za or visit www.babasati.co.za. Babasati, excellence in every project. Urban Edge Radio, not just radio.
Life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. Experience the elegance of Italian craftsmanship. Go Italian, go Vespa. Book a test ride today at 5 IKEA Road, Fleurhof, or contact Derek at 011 440 7649.
Stay in style at Hotel Sky with prime locations in Sandton and Cape Town. Enjoy seamless check-ins, stunning city views, and world-class service for business or leisure. Book now and experience the ultimate in comfort and innovation. For reservations, email reservations.sentin@hotelsky.co.za. That is reservations.sentin@hotelsky.co.za or call 010-880-449. That is 010-880-449. Stay in style at Hotel Sky. That's where we are broadcasting from. Now, on the very sad one, the story of Jayden-Lee Meek. Actually, one needs strength for this one because it's quite a sad one. Unacceptable, shouldn't have happened. The residents of Fleurhof have marched to the Florida police station calling for justice after the tragic death of an 11-year-old Jayden-Lee Meek. According to police, Jayden-Lee was dropped off by his scholar transport on Tuesday afternoon but never arrived at his home. The following day, his lifeless body was discovered undressed on a staircase within the residential complex where he lived. The boy had sustained multiple bruises, and his body was found several hours after he was reported missing. According to reports, his body was still warm and clean. He had no blood on him, but visible abrasions could be seen, indicating a possible assault. When relatives were notified, Jayden-Lee was rushed to the hospital. However, he was declared dead on arrival. Community members believe that had the police carried out a thorough search of the complex, the boy's life might have been saved. Gauteng police spokesperson Mavela Masondo confirmed that a case of murder has been opened and is under investigation. A community member at the march told us that she too had experienced the loss that Jayden's mom is going through. I went through the same thing that just happened to Jayden's mom, and all I can say is, what did our children do to deserve all this? We as adults, what gives us the right to attack all these children? South Africa, what is wrong with us? We need to change as a community. We need to learn to protect our children because this is too much, she added.
As we light the candle, just to symbolize that Christ is the light of this world. And as we stand together as a community in support, in love, we ask, oh God, that you be with us.
I love political songs. The Fleurhof community came together in a solemn candlelight vigil to mourn the death of the 11-year-old Jayden, whose body was discovered on the staircase of the Swazes Place complex in Fleurhof near Florida on the West Rand. On other news, ABSA staff face disciplinary action over information leaks. The turbulence within the ABSA shows no signs of easing, with new reports indicating that the bank is initiating disciplinary action against certain employees following the outcome of a forensic investigation that uncovered serious misconduct. Online betting advertising spend soars. Sports betting has officially gone mainstream in South Africa, and the numbers show it's not just about punting anymore, but about power, presence, and precision in marketing. Nissan SA plant battles tough calls in Chinese onslaught. Nissan is considering shuttering its SA assembly plant in Roslyn, a move that would mark a major pullback from a market it has served for more than half a century and send ripples through the country's manufacturing sector. Transnet unfazed by Moody's dire cash warning. The ratings agency raises the prospect of the company running out of cash in 3 months. Third try at South Africa's budget may point to revenue shortfall of 4.7% of GDP, says economists. Reuters poll, South Africa's National Treasury will likely announce wider budget deficit forecast on Wednesday as it struggles to find alternative sources of revenue in the absence of strong economic growth, a Reuters poll of economists found. Sasol investors seek clarity at first strategy update since 2021. Sasol has maintained a target to reduce emissions 30% by 2030 despite a pivot back to coal under Sasol Chief Executive Officer Simon Baloyi. Most SA coal workers are unequipped for green transition. About 150,000 are directly employed by the coal sector, most of whom risk being unable to transfer their skills to emerging green industry. Sasria molds wider cover in riskier world. State body working with World Bank and IMF on possible cover for climate events and cyber attacks. The South African telecoms company that lost 18 billion, the market capitalization of partially state-owned telecoms company, Telkom has dropped by nearly 18 billion in the past 6 years after reaching 37.21 billion in June 2019. Okay, that was a Zuma moment from myself. The company's market cap as of 19 May 2025 was 19.42 billion before reaching 37.21 billion in June 2019. Its previous half-year high was 36.97 billion in June 2007. Development in 13 billion Vodacom acquisition of Vumatel. The Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, that is the DTIC, is taking legal action against a competition tribunal ruling after it blocked a deal between Vodacom and Vumatel parent Nasiphi. Vodacom revealed in its annual results released Monday that Trade and Industry Minister Pakstawu department has filed an appeal against the tribunal ruling. Those were the news on Unfiltered with The Duke.
Looking for a top quality steel and electrical supplier at unbeatable prices? Devland Steel has you covered. Whether you need industrial, commercial, or residential steel and electrical supplies, Devland Steel stocks up a variety of steel and electrical products to power up your projects. Located at number 66 East Street, Devland, Johannesburg. Call Devland Steel on 011 933 2754 or 064 532 2969. Devland Steel, your reliable, affordable, and trusted supplier.